We welcome you to episode 37 of Battin and Chattin here on the Eastern Observer alongside Denis Tuohy. I'm Brandon Natale. Before we get started, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube to be kept in the loop, everything Eastern Observer, and most importantly, Battin and Chattin. Our show can be found on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and wherever else podcasts can be found. Our show is presented to you by Black Cats NYC. Be sure to download their newest hit single, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us, which can be found wherever music is found, whether that's Spotify, iHeartRadio, SiriusXM, Satellite Radio, and many others. Dennis, how you doing today on episode 37?
Doing all right. Doing all right. I bought MLB The Show 24 earlier in the day, but
Okay.
my Xbox is giving me a hard time, so I haven't played it yet. I was hoping that I could play it earlier and then talk about it today,
Yeah, no.
and hasn't happened.
Okay.
Hasn't happened. So when that's up and running, maybe I'll give it like a 5-minute review on it. I don't know.
Yeah, I can never play the show. I don't know. I feel like I'm too impatient to play it.
I'm way too impatient for it, and that's why I play it, and that's why I hate it. And that's why I like it.
Yeah, 'cause you know what I mean? Every pitch I just want to swing at. It could be below the dirt, and I'm ready to
Yeah.
take the worst possible swing, like a Todd Frazier type swing. No hate against Todd Frazier. Love the guy. Said hi to him before. He actually said hi back, believe it or not. I was like, "Yo, what's up, Todd?" He's like, "Hey, how you doing?"
I always really liked him because he was on the Yankees too. You know that.
Yeah. He was. I know he was. Yeah, he was great. He was decent on the Yankees, and I remember after that he came straight over to Flushing. I was like, "Oh, nice." But
Yeah, I
I remember
really
one
liked him.
time when I bring him up is I remember he nothing against him bad. It's just I know one time I saw him on the Mets, he had swung out one of the worst pitches ever I've seen. It was like way outside the strike zone on not on the below the dirt. It was like more like on the left, and you can see it was just way out of the strike zone. He swings at it. It's like me going up to the plate. I just swing at anything. I'm like, come on, Todd. Come on. Where's your batter eyes there? Come on. But you know what I mean. So like in terms of that and MLB the Show, whenever I'm like playing the batter, like I could just I'm swinging anything. I'm trying to hit some dingers, hit some home, or just hit the ball. So I mean, I know today you guys were talking in the fantasy chat. The reason why I didn't see the order was because I saw the chat was like 100 text messages where like people talking about the ultimate team of the show. What's that called?
Diamond Dynasty.
Diamond Dynasty, right? As you said, thank you. So everyone was talking about that. The players they got someone in our league got a 86 Edwin Diaz, and then they pulled a Babe Ruth. So I was like, oh, okay.
I don't know what my cousin does all day. Kid, I know what he does for work. He makes great money. For a guy his age, he makes great money. And he still has somehow has the time to play as much freaking MLB The Show as he does. I don't like him and Cooper. Like I feel like they should just start playing each other. I want to know who's better.
Yeah, no, they definitely play the show. Like when it comes out, like
So
that's
much.
yeah.
So much. I can't believe it. And then it takes me like 3 months to catch up with like as good as they are. My teams always suck in Diamond Dynasty. Probably because I only play for franchise. I'm one of those people that I just like to do drafts.
Franchise sounds fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you just play the Yankees and obviously like try to win the World Series.
Yeah, or I do like the fantasy drafts so I can have like the legends and like mix it
Oh,
up.
really? That sounds pretty fun.
Yeah. And the NFL doesn't have the legends in their game.
They used to. They
They,
used
they
to.
they had the teams, but they didn't have the players. They didn't have like Bo Jackson. Well, they did. They had Madden 25, but
Yeah, man.
they
Yeah,
they had in like the ones I'm thinking. I have two. I have 05 and 08 on PS2, and they would have like the 92 Giants or whatever. And
they really? You serious?
they did, but it wouldn't be the players. It would just be the number. So it would just be number 56 instead of Lawrence Taylor. And it was still like a really good player. And sometimes the numbers didn't always add up, but most of the time they were. You had an idea of who it was supposed to be.
Right. Wait, hold on that
And
one sec. Right back.
yeah, yeah, go ahead. In the meantime, I'll just tell the audience about this. And they would do it that way instead of having players. And then baseball, they do it differently. They have they separate it by 3 separate teams, and then they have like a free agency, right? So they have the 40-man roster for like what they call long ball beasts. That's the steroid era. That's the 80s till 21st century. And then they have the mid-century groundbreakers or whatever the hell they're called. And that's like the modern era game. And then they have the dead ball era and like to integration. So they have 3 separate teams, and then they have a free agency. Free agency is usually guys in the league now in like a prime version of them
They get to that
or
D
something.
train.
Yeah. So it's differently, but I wish they did that with the NFL, have like legends.
I know 2K does that.
2Ks is so intricate. I feel not intricate enough the way I would want it to be, but that's also being very spoiled. And the NHL is adopting. Yeah, I guess adopting
The
isn't the
NFL
word.
definitely should do that because,
The
like, I
NHL
feel
is
like I
starting to
would
do it.
definitely want to help them out. I mean, I don't know, but there's
I would
definitely
love
some
to.
Jet teams I would recommend, like they could put in.
Yeah, I guess like the
You know,
Sack Exchange and obviously
yeah, like
Super
those.
Bowl three.
They were good in the 80s. Yeah, 1998 Jets too, or some teams in the 2000s. Maybe the 2010 Jets when they had that 2009 because that defense was insane. Either way,
Yeah.
but no, like the NFL they used to do like legend players. Where like they actually like Curtis Martin was like a legend player. There was Jerry Rice, Steve Young, Joe Montana, um, Barry Sanders. These were players. Michael Irving. These were players, and like you would add them on to like say the Jets on that team that year and just play them.
Mhm.
Help them win a Super Bowl. So, but they should do that. The Madden should try to find a way to adopt it. I feel like they will. Maybe they're just waiting for the right time to do it, just so they don't milk out. They don't milk out saturate the market with themselves. I guess.
Yeah, I would. Well, I don't know. Madden is so bad from what I've heard that like you might as well. But
I
I like the all-time teams in the NBA, and they have like the classic
yeah.
teams as well, like the '96 Bulls or the '86 Celtics.
No, I agree.
Like
Yeah,
that,
no,
I would love
it's
to do that
fun.
for baseball. Like I would love to sit down and like just maybe. I don't know if
Imagine you
that'd be a
playing
good
the '86
series,
Mets like
but like yeah, like
against like
picking
the '98
teams.
Yankees. That'd be good. That'd be a good matchup. The '86 Mets against the '98 Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, I think the '98 Yankees is the best team, this best sports team ever.
Yeah, you said it before. They best lineup.
They're so balanced. That the most home runs they had that year was like I think like 27 or 28 for Tino Martinez, which is like
Really?
not too much, especially for back then, steroid era. The whole team though was just balanced. There's no weakness.
Mm.
The bullpen was elite. The starting pitching was elite. Lineup was elite. The depth was elite. They had freaking
Yeah,
Hall of Famers on their bench, like Rock Reigns.
the Hall of Fame is on the
Like
bench.
they did.
Yeah, no,
They
yeah.
did. I mean, like stacked, man.
And
Stacked.
they won it in San Diego. They swept San Diego, correct?
Yeah.
And I remember they won it in Qualcomm Stadium. That was the original Chargers stadium before that got knocked down. It's pretty cool. I just want to see pictures. I'm not gonna lie. As a Met fan, I'll say it's like pretty cool seeing that stadium. I didn't know the Padres played in it. And you just see like this the photo, the pictures of a World Series in that stadium. I think it's just legendary.
Yeah, and I don't think the Padres were cans either. They had Trevor Hoffman, they had Tony Gwynn, they had
Tony Gwynn, yeah,
guys.
yeah. But
Oh well.
at the end of the day, this is one of the legendary teams ever. You run into them, it's going to be insane.
Yeah. That was then. This is now. We got the current events here, right?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. So obviously, to move forward, hopefully they could adopt on that. Madden, we'll see, but or the hopefully the show could definitely find a way to do that. I would love to play the '98 Yankees with the '86 Mets one day. Hopefully that could happen. For now, I mean, if anybody from the MLB the show's listening, hey, come on, we're right here.
Yeah,
You heard it
I
here.
have ideas. I have ideas.
I'll copyright it if anything. Like, come on, like, let's see what's going on. Uh, before we get to the before we get to the big news of the day that's been going on, we just got an update from Bleach Report. I'm sure you probably got it too. The New York Yankees and Jordan Montgomery are back in touch,
Yeah.
and the Yankees are in contract with the free agent after missing out on Blake Snell.
Yeah.
That's actually big news as itself, as Blake Snell signed a 2-year deal worth $62 million. Dennis, I have to ask, how bad is this for Blake Snell? Like, how much did he lose out? I mean, hey, 62 million. Hey, good for him. Great amount of money. But considering the start of free agency, what was going on with with his situation, do you think this is a lost situation for him, or it's finally good he finally found a home?
Well, it's 31 years for a year because he's going to opt out.
Okay, yeah, right.
Right. So
again, he's on like another
I
tryout
don't
type
know,
season.
man. I feel bad for him. He's really getting screwed. He came off his second Cy Young Award victory. And I get it. He's only had 2 seasons where he's gotten a single Cy Young vote. He won the darn thing twice.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a can. I understand he can't go long into innings, long into games. I understand he has a lot of walks and whatnot. But so does Dylan Cease, and everybody's talking to me like he's freaking Randy Johnson. Right? He led the league in walks twice. He led the league in wild pitches. He's coming off a bad year. And people are saying that the White Sox should have gotten a king's ransom. How does that make sense? And I get it's for 2 years of him. But if I was the Padres, I would look at it as, bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush, right? That's the saying. I don't know. I always got confused by that one. But you could have had Blake Snell and all those assets you gave up for Dylan Cease. I don't know what happened. Is it really that people are just fed up with Scott Boris's nonsense? It could be.
Yeah, no, it's
League just saying,
like, hey,
screw
Scott,
this. And not necessarily that's collusion, but just like-mindedness of, let's call a spade, man. Only 6 or 7 teams in Major League Baseball spend money. It's nonsense. It's not right. It's not fair. It screws you and me over, the fans.
Yeah.
But we know that's true. I can see those teams saying it's not worth it. The Cubs have enough starting pitching. It's not worth it. The Yankees are getting killed by this stupid Steve Cohen tax that they put in the last CBA. Like, the teams like the Rays are lucky I'm not an owner. Honestly, they're lucky I'm not an owner. I'd say F you. I'm paying your payroll to beat me. Why? Because you don't want to spend money. Okay. And now a team like the Yankees, I have to pay 110% of Blake Snell's contract in tax. So if he's making $30 million, that means I have to fork over 63%, 63 million. How is that fair? That's a salary cap. It's not a salary cap, but it's being treated as a salary cap. But now there's a salary cap without a salary floor. And you have teams like the A's that are making less than $50 million between the entire roster. And people wonder why, until last year, ratings were down. Well, if you're not taking your sports seriously, why should I? So I feel bad for Blake Snell. He got screwed. He really did. The same issues you can nitpick with him, you can nitpick with plenty of other guys. All right, so he's age 30 now. And how much did Jacob deGrom get? We're looking at Clayton Kershaw, expecting him to retire any day now, right? He's obviously signed for the Dodgers this year, but looking forward. He's the same age as Jacob deGrom, right?
Kershaw?
And I know deGrom has the less mileage. He came up age 26 instead of age 20. He came up as a shortstop. He wasn't drafted as a starting pitcher as far as I can remember. I get it. I get all that. It may not be a complete one-for-one comparison. One of them signed a, king, like I just said, a king's ransom with the Texas Rangers. The other one we're expecting to retire any season now, on his way out. So I don't want to hear anything about age. I don't want to hear anything about wild pitches. Like I said, people are talking about Dylan Cease like he could walk on water. It's nonsense, but whatever. I don't want to hear anything about any of this. He's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner coming off of a terrific season. Like, what do you want me to say? And I feel bad for some of the other guys, like Michael Lorenzen, who's caught in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, he's waiting to see what the market's going to be and what teams need starting pitching because he knows he's not a $30 million guy, but a team that misses out on everyone else, they're going to need a Michael Lorenzen more than another team. A team like the Yankees might be willing to give him more money than a team like the Giants now because the Giants have it figured out. They got two aces, Logan Webb and Blake Snell, the top two Cy Young Award vote getters in the National League on the same roster. So I feel bad for guys like that. I feel bad for Jordan Montgomery because, like him, he's looking at the market to see what he can get, and he's got to wait around because we have 20 teams that actively don't try to win. It's not right, man. It's not right. It's not the way the league is supposed to be. Meanwhile, I look at the NFL, and obviously not every team is spending money. People have criticized the Cowboys for the lack of moves they've made.
Yeah.
But just about every team has made some pretty substantial additions. The parity in the NFL is really good. The Major League Baseball, I don't think is too far off from that if teams tried, where all 30 teams could have a shot. And maybe not winning the World Series, but making the playoffs. The NFL, there's not too many teams going into next season that you could just write off immediately, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I know we can go off on that, but I know this might go what you say. Just Battin, this baseball, Battin and Chattin. Not the field post. Actually, that would be a good name. Maybe I already came up with a logo for that one, for something in the works. I know you know about that. But no, I agree. I mean, it's true though. Like in the NFL, there's definitely some teams you can't write off on yet. I mean, I feel like it's the same thing in baseball. There's some teams I feel like there's some teams that are going to shock you this year. I feel like it's the same with the Mets. And I was talking about it with Tyler yesterday. He even told me. He said the Mets they might shock some people. I don't think they're going to be like. I feel like every year everybody would predict they were going to win the NL East. Right away, it's like that's the kiss of death right there. Like they're not going to win. Like don't say they're going to win the NL East. Like most of the time it goes to the Braves or it goes to the Phillies. Mostly goes to the Braves. But I think, this season, it's like I said, it's going to come down to starting pitching. But I think they got depth in the bullpen. They got a decent lineup when they're hot. I don't know what's the story with JD Martinez. I know Steve Cohen said the other day that David Stearns is, he can do whatever he wants to do, but I think it's a little too late. Basically saying, he can do whatever he wants, but it's kind of too late, like to add any pieces. What are you gonna say? Looks like you're gonna say something.
That's another one. How is JD Martinez not signed? Because he's 37? Would you rather have a guy who's 25 and sucks and is a complete tomato can, or would you rather have a 37-year-old who's really good?
I would rather have 37 that's really good. Sign him right now.
Right, Brandon? Wouldn't you think that? Doesn't that make sense?
You would think. I still don't understand.
Would you pick JD Martinez over me? Whoa, hold on now, Denny. He's not even 24 yet. He has upside. JD Martinez, we know what we're gonna get. I can tell you what you're gonna get with me. Bunch of strikeouts. Absolute garbage. Obviously I'm not a professional baseball player. Shocking, I know. But JD Martinez, like, coming off of a terrific season, an all-star caliber season. He might have gotten all MLB votes. I don't know if he got all MLB. I should probably pull it up. But dude, like he's not bad, man. He's not bad.
No, it's the Mets need a spot. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna ride with Mark Vientos that much. Like, I don't know if that's the expectation. No, he had a 3-run homer the other day. It was a nuke. I don't know if you saw it. It was a rocket. I don't know if they're gonna ride with him the whole time at the DH. There's gonna be a lot of people coming in and out of that position. One player that is not though is Danny Burgess.
Danny
Vogelbach, as he's with Toronto. I wonder how he's doing over there.
I don't know. They got some big boys over there, man. Alejandro Kirk, Danny Burgers, Vladdy Jr. Isn't exactly a pipsqueak. Right? Alek Manoah. They got some big kahunas. Big boys. Tim Hortons, bro. Can't get enough of the donuts.
Is that a Canadian thing? Canadian chain?
It is a Canadian thing, but there's one in our neighborhood now.
There's two. There's one in Massapequa now. There's one in Seaford.
Is the one in Whoa, there's one in
In Seaford, actually, it's
West.
more. It's
Well,
by the
Seaford, the church.
cinema.
Whoa, wait a minute. We're thinking two different things. I'm
No, I know,
thinking of one.
you're talking about
What
the one
does
by
it?
the church, by St.
Yeah,
James.
right.
Yes, and then there's
Yes.
one. There's one by the Seaford Cinemas.
Is that in the gas station as well, or is it just a Tim Hortons?
It's in the gas station.
Mm.
I gotta go there, man. I gotta try Tim Hortons. I mean, it's crazy. Things are popping up. You know what? Before we get back to bait, you know what closed recently?
No.
Dairy Queen on Hempstead Turnpike.
Shut up. I knew I was
It
keeping
looked
my
like it was
business.
closed. So luckily, so I gotta find a Dairy Queen to spend on my gift cards.
Sunrise
Get the
Highway.
Blizzards. This last one. I know
Sunrise
there's one in
Highway
Comac.
always wins.
Hopefully that didn't close down yet.
When I worked for the town at a park over there, I used to go to Dairy Queen every now and then for
Yeah,
dinner.
I don't blame you. But anyways,
Oh, rats. That
uh,
sucks, man. I like Dairy Queen. Their chicken tenders are sneaky good.
no, yeah.
Their
But
chicken tender box, I like.
I always go there for the Blizzards. I feel like Vlad
Oh, of
Guerrero would
course.
definitely. I mean,
Oh, you know Vladdy likes the blizzards, bro. Come on.
how do you not? Yeah, but Toronto's definitely got some power hitters and they got some power in the team. But so yeah, I like to see what the Mets do in the DH spot because in terms of it's I wouldn't say it's too late. Do you think it's too late for? I mean, it's never too late. I feel like in baseball to sign this late before opening day and be like, and just insert them in the lineups, whether it's starting pitcher or player or position player.
It's JD Martinez. He's a professional hitter. Like, he's going to be ready. He's not a screw up. He's never been a screw up.
No.
I would sign JD Martinez, especially if I'm the Mets, because you're rebuilding. Well, not rebuilding, but retooling, whatever they're calling it now.
Right.
Because you can flip him at the deadline.
Yeah.
You can flip him at the deadline and get some players back or get some pieces back. So I would take him. If I was the Brewers, I would have taken him yesterday. That team, because like in the Central, any little thing you can do counts. If I don't know if he's going to catch a lot or if he's going to do DH and Salvador Perez, but let's say he's a catcher and they want to DH. JD Martinez on the Royals, you don't think that goes a long way in that division?
Yeah.
So some teams, man, a little move like that could really move a needle for them. So I'm curious to see what happens with him. I don't want to see a guy who's qualified not get a job just because of his age. Stupid. Like, what's the point? I'll pull up his stats right now. The guy was a monster. I mean, he's really good. A 271 batting average, an OPS plus a 134. League average is 100. OPS of 893. 103 RBIs. 61 runs scored. 117 hits. You don't need that on your team? How many games played? 113. That's with injuries. You don't need that on your team? You tell me. That's if he played like 140 games, you don't think that's an MVP caliber season? It's a DH. The WAR is small. It's a DH thing. It's not. Who cares?
Right.
WAR for DH, principal of a homeschool. So, I mean, shoot, if the Yankees didn't have a logjam at DH already, I'd say take him. I don't understand it. I get frustrated, Brandon, because I don't see what they see. I'm competitive. I'm not
I get.
money guy. I'm not some guy who just wants to save money. If I was an owner, we'd be going guns a-blazing every single season, bro. Guns a-blazing. I'd have, how teams always have like those stupid little signs like for team culture in their clubhouse.
Yeah.
Never give up, whatever. Mine would be guns a-blazing.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
go out in a blaze of glory every single season. If we go broke, so what?
But if you had the opposite, so I guess in terms of this, Blake Snell, I guess definitely was the deciding factor in the rest of the pitching market. Kind of safe to assume,
I think so.
because now that Blake Snell is now signed, now that kind of leaves Jordan Montgomery's phone ringing.
Yeah.
I wonder how he would be back on the Yankees. I know it was decent his first time go around, but then when he left, he was kind of in good form.
Yeah, I mean, he was really good for the Rangers in the postseason. I I kind of write off the Cardinals stuff because he's a pitch to contact pitcher, and that entire defense was Gold Glovers at some point in their career, just about. I think only like one guy wasn't, if I'm not mistaken. So it's kind of hard. Like you want to talk about being put in a good situation, you know, I'll relate it back to football. That's like a Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. Pretty hard to be bad as quarterback when you got all pros and Hall of Famers everywhere in front of you.
Yeah, no,
So I mean, I like Montgomery. Supposedly, him and Matt Blake, the Yankees pitching coach, didn't see eye to eye on certain things. Hopefully, now they let Montgomery just kind of do his thing because there's proof of concept. And if not, that they could kind of meet in the middle more on things and cooperate better and make the whole team better in that regard. I would like him back. I mean, we certainly need him. Our opening day starter is Nestor Cortez, who I like, but come on. You know, Carlos Rodon has a terrific spring, but always an injury risk with him. It was, I think it's fair to say, pretty terrible last year for the Yankees. It's definitely not what he wanted to be. He just pitched 6.1 innings or 6.2 innings of no hit baseball for the Yankees in spring. Got taken out by Joe Torre. Came
yeah,
out,
I saw that.
take him out. Kind of interesting. And we'll see, man. We'll see what the Yankees do, but I would certainly welcome Jordan Montgomery.
Okay. So now we get to the Otani news. So I feel like this is definitely pretty big. So according to Anthony Franco, by MLB Otani's interpreter has been fired as he is accused of theft and illegal gambling. So according to the article, it says on Wednesday evening, the Dodgers announced they fired the manager who was working as Otani's personal interpreter. Um, has been Otani's friend, interpreter during dating. They say he's been the interpreter since he first signed with the Angels in 17.
Mm-hmm.
And so talks about the people that reported it from the Los Angeles Times. That's Gustavo Alanda, Adam Herc, Nathan Fennell, and Paul Pringle. Those are all people of the LA Times. It's when they first reported the news, which comes amidst a probe into alleged illegal gambling operation in Southern California. Attorneys for Otani told the LA Times that the two-way star had been victim of the massive theft, while the statement did not specify who had committed the alleged theft. The evident implication is that Miyahara did so. So, and obviously, like you said, ESPN's Tisha Thompson reported the upwards of $4.5 million have been wired from the bank account in Otani's name to the alleged gambling ring. So, sports gambling remains illegal in California. Spokesman for Otani initially told ESPN that the two-way MVP had wired the money to pay off gambling debts, which never had occurred. Um, so that sucks if that's the case. Then Otani was like helping pay off these debts. There's a lot to uncover with this story.
Yeah, I read the ESPN one written by Tisha Thompson, and I'm gonna be honest with you. It reminds me a lot of a research paper I'd written in college. I got an A on the research paper, and I outright said in the research paper, my academically published article, not article, paper. If you're confused by this, it's not a you problem. It's because there's too many conflicting sides to this story. It was about the Spanish Civil War and casualty counts.
Yeah.
This was remarkably similar to a lot of what I was reading when I was researching college. So I'll pull up the ESPN piece once again by Tisha Thompson. There's no R. So
Yeah.
sorry about that.
No,
okay. The spokesman presented. All right. So initially, a spokesman for Ohtani told ESPN the slugger had transferred the funds to cover Ipe Muzahara, or mostly known by baseball fans as Ipe or Ippy, the translator. Gambling debt. The spokesman presented Muzahara to ESPN for a 90-minute interview Tuesday night, during which Muzahara laid out his account in great detail. However, as ESPN prepared to publish the story Wednesday, the spokesman disavowed Muzahara's account and said Ohtani's lawyers would issue a statement. How the hell does that make sense? What did I say? May I share my screen?
You should be able to.
Share screen. That's the one. Enter. Okay. Let's read this together, class. All right.
All right, popcorn.
Yeah, right. Boy, that takes me back.
Yeah, man.
Initially, a spokesperson for Ohtani told ESPN the slugger had transferred the funds to cover Muzahara's gambling debt. The spokesman presented Muzahara to ESPN for a 90-minute interview Tuesday night, during which Muzahara laid out his account in great detail. However, as ESPN prepared to publish the story Wednesday, the spokesman disavowed Muzahara's account and said Ohtani's lawyers would issue a statement. And then all of a sudden, it turns out that it actually was a massive theft.
Now,
I don't want to say it's a cover-up. I don't want to say it's a cover-up. But come on.
Doesn't look good.
We're all thinking it. I don't want to come out here and say the biggest draw in North American sports right now may or may not have been illegally gambling. But I'll tell you what. Sure as hell seems like he knew.
Right.
Because they said that the money was stolen, and later on that piece, it goes on to discuss how he would basically hand in checks that said that had Ohtani's name on it. I guess from his checkbook. I don't know that part they never explained to this gambler, and the gambler never asked questions, but would tell people, by the way, this guy's an idiot. Whoever this mobster or whoever it is, the guy's an idiot. Would say to people, well, Ohtani is one of my betters, to try and curry favor. If you're a reporter, you never burn your sources. And if you're a shady person, you sure as hell never go around advertising they're shady people.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Right?
I do.
Because that's how all this kind of started, was that Tani's name was coming up. Probably shouldn't have been coming up. People just kept their traps shut. if I knew somebody connected to Otani was one of my betters, as long as they're paying their money, out of sight, out of mind. Now, whatever you do is between you and God. If you believe in one, that's your business, you know. And I want to be clear here. They made it a point to emphasize numerous times throughout the article. Once again, this is the Tisha Thompson article from ESPN.
Right.
No baseball betting. It was no baseball betting. The rule it violated under Major League Baseball's policy was that it was with an illegal bookmaker. So had it been DraftKings, this never would have came up. But California, as far as I know, doesn't have sports betting yet.
No.
So,
and the article I just read, yeah, they talked about, I think, how it's legal in California.
it's illegal with an I?
Yes. Illegal.
So. Okay.
So
Bizarre.
it's definitely not good though for Otani. This is not.
This story makes no sense. It makes zero sense. There's like 10 different contradictions in there, and it's not the fault of the reporter. It's just, it seems very much like Otani wanted to pay this guy off so it would go away. And the lawyers and publicists and PR people realized that made it 10 times worse. So they said it was stolen. That's what I'm getting. That's the conclusion I'm drawing. Not saying that that's true. I'm saying that's my interpretation.
Right.
So I don't understand how this is going to affect Otani or if a suspension. Like I told you off air, Brandon, they cannot suspend him.
No.
The only thing that Otani can get suspended for is murder. That's it. You can't do this again. You can't kill your biggest draw again. It killed baseball 25 years ago. You can't do this again, man. You can't do this again.
You just got to think of who you
Had Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens gotten into the Hall of Fame and nobody ever said anything about steroids with them, baseball would still be dominating ratings instead of it being football. I think so.
You think so, really?
I think so. People forget, dude, until the late 90s, baseball was pretty much dominating the ratings consistently.
Basketball was huge. Basketball was huge back then. Or baseball.
Oh, yeah. Certainly.
Hmm.
And then the lockout happened, and then the steroids happened, and it was, two killing blows. But right when they were getting that popularity back, kind of like now, right when you're getting that popularity back, can't have your big main star player, cover of MLB The Show, 23 or 22, whatever it was, 22, get involved in this kind of a scandal. You can't have it happen.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's definitely not. It's not a good look. You don't want to be affiliated with these type of people. You want to put stuff around good people who are not shady.
If this was Kenta Maeda's interpreter, we wouldn't even be talking about it. Honestly, I'm rocking the Otani jersey today too.
Yeah, I see. I love it. Yeah,
good day for that. Yeah. But come on, man. Come on, interpreter. Ipe. He's funny. He's a funny guy.
Oh boy,
I've seen him on like the press conferences and whatnot. The guy's funny.
He ain't laughing.
People love that dude. He ain't laughing now. One thing that he was directly quoted as saying was, "I realized I was a really bad gambler." The dude, you owe $4.5 million. Like, what gave you that away?
Yeah.
Like, maybe pick a different line of work. Maybe this interpreter thing might have, worked itself out for you. But I don't know what's going to happen with Otani. If this is like a suspendable offense for him, they're going out of his way. Oh, and by the way, the gambler, this is probably the most important piece that I left it out. The better Bowers, Bowyer, ERS, said he never met Otani. They never had any interactions. So maybe it could work itself out, all copacetic, and
right.
Otani never gets suspended, never gets brought up on anything. and it just goes away. But and now if they're saying that the guy stole money from him, that's grand larceny.
Yeah, no, that's not good. I'd be furious
So if they're
that's
coming up
yeah.
with it and like he knew about it and Ohtani was bankrolling him, just trying to help the guy pay off his debts, like that's never going to come up. I don't know if there's an end around, like if Ohtani doesn't press charges and says like you screwed up, cost yourself millions of dollars, cost yourself all this life of luxury, living in the U.S., hanging out with me, being the Leon to my Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm, just hanging out, you know,
Yeah.
and you threw it all away, and that's punishment enough. But then that might look suspicious to people, like, you know, perjury. But who knows? I'm not a lawyer. I just watch a lot of Law and Order.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
although there was an episode that was like remarkably similar to this,
Really?
like from like 25 years ago, 30 years
Okay.
ago, kind of crazy. Oh well.
But yeah, no, we'll see. It's definitely not a good look on Otani or the Dodgers
No.
because, like I said, you don't want to be affiliated with that. You want to be affiliated with like good people who don't. Yeah. One of the things they don't do stuff like this.
One would think.
So it sucks that I mean, Blake Snell did control a lot of the market. It's crazy though. 'Cause speaking of Padres and Dodgers, they just. Do you happen to catch that London game that was at 5 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock and
You
5?
mean the Korea game?
Yeah.
I could tell you got football on the mind, Brandon. No, but I didn't watch it live. I just I saw the highlights of it.
I can't believe it actually counted.
You and me both on that one.
Like spring training's not done yet.
Yeah, the Yankees are playing Trevor Bauer Sunday.
No way.
You didn't hear about that?
What do you mean they're playing Trevor Bauer?
They're playing Trevor Bauer. He's playing for a team in Mexico. And the Yankees
Oh,
have an
okay.
exhibition against them.
No, I didn't hear this. No.
All right, well, we'll get into it after the Korea game. Dodgers win 5-2. Yahoo! I mean, it really was treated like a spring training game. Both teams used like 15 pitchers. That's being hyperbolic.
Looking at the windows, the windows, at the scores. Jason
Yeah.
Hayward's on the Dodgers. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know, right? They really revived that guy's career, man. He should be paying them. I love Jason Hayward. He's one of my favorite players ever.
No, I agree.
But my God, they really. You want to talk about a reclamation project, right? That's the proper phrasing.
Yeah.
All right. Dodgers win 5-2 in this one. They out hit the Padres 7-4. 2 errors by the Padres, including one that led to a monster inning in the 8th. Dodgers were up 2-1. Then Jake Cronenworth had the ball go through his glove. Oof. You never want that. You never want that. No, first baseman Jake Cronenworth. Wow. Moving from the middle infield to first base. Good for you, Jake Cronenworth. He's not even listed on the lineup. Oh, there it is. Just scroll past him 10 different times. Pretty good game for this one. The Padres, they lose 2-5. The winning pitcher is Daniel Hudson, age 37, still getting it done. Good for him, man. Had one strikeout in this one. He came in relief. Gave up one hit, one strikeout. Johnny Brito, new Padre, had 1.1 inning pitched, one hit, 2 earned runs, and 1 walk. 2 errors. I'm not sure how he's getting the bulk of the blame here, but whatever. Evan Phillips had the save. The first save of the 2024 season goes to Evan Phillips. 1 inning pitched, 1 strikeout. So good for him. Hey, him and Daniel Hudson, great minds think alike. Any homers? Any homers? Any homer? No homers in this one. The ball was dead. 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 In this one, ball was not traveling anywhere. Oh man, I just watched the highlight. That ball really went right through the webbing of Jake
You want me
Cronenworth's.
to share it?
Sure. You have the video?
Do you have it on YouTube?
I have it from ESPN. Hold on. Jesus, this website. I'll share it. Obligatory. This is not our footage. Guessing it's that one. Let me know when you can see it. You can see it all right?
Yes.
This is the play. So runners at first and second. Morjan on the mound against Gavin Lux, who missed much of last season with injuries, playing second base. He's in here and hit play.
Okay. Oh wow. It's crazy that this game like counted as like a regular season.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I don't know. I think it's crazy. Like spring training's still going on. I know in 2000, I think the Mets played in Japan or Korea.
Right through the webbing. Oof. Tough
Oh, that's
break.
bad. Yeah.
Not his
Poor guy.
fault.
Poor Cronenworth. Oof. Yeah, you hate
Crone's
to see that
zone.
happen.
Oof. Tough break. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's strange.
I've never seen that before.
Through the webbing?
That too, and just the fact
Oh,
that the
yeah.
game was a regular season game.
I feel like it happens, but it's not often. Like Ichiro's last game was Mariners versus A's in Japan.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
And like so it has happened. The Yankees started their season off I think in like 04, 05 in Japan when they had Hideki Matsui. So like it's happened. But it's not often. Like it's not common. It's
Right.
not uncommon either. It just happens.
But that is strange with the webbing though. The glove, like, must be worn out glove.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. I've never seen that in person, but I've seen it obviously on TV. I always played with the softball mitt. When I played Little League, I played with a softball mitt. Don't think you'd be able to get away with that in the pros.
Whenever I've played catch, like I would always have my glove that I've had since I was like a kid. I don't know how I got it, but I've had it for a long time. But I didn't like using the softball glove. I don't know. I didn't think it fit good.
I needed something like big. I needed something big, but like something that was still kind of like lightweight. So the softball mitt was lightweight because I don't know, but like just not as thick as like a regular baseball mitt.
Right.
But something big because I was a big kid. So I used my sister's old softball mitt and I was catching everything. I take pride in being the only defensive first corner outfielder in Plano Youth Baseball League. I was just talking about this with a buddy of mine. Like people would hit it over to right field and they'd be like, oh, that's usually where they put the bad kids. No, they didn't realize I was 75% of the earth is covered by water. The other 25% was by little Denny.
There you go.
I was an animal. I robbed a couple of home runs. I robbed a walk-off home run from a kid once.
Was I on the team?
Game over. Sealed it. I don't know. You might have been.
I feel like I
I
remember
remember
this.
who it was. It's somebody who you worked with at the middle school who hit it. Our grade.
Really?
Big dude. Nice guy.
Uh,
Didn't know him too well.
I worked with at the school. He's our age?
Yeah, Jake.
Sandler?
Jake. Yeah.
Really? He played baseball? I didn't know that.
He was good.
Was he?
Kid had
Okay.
some kid had some pop. Kid had some pop.
Okay. Good for Jake. Good for Jake. Next time I see him,
But
I gotta tell him.
yeah, he hit it. And I was, like I said, 25% of Earth covered by Denny.
Yeah, no,
Proud
it's
that. He brought it up to me a few times when we were working together. He's like, I'll never forget when you did that. I was like, yeah, me neither, man.
it's right.
Funny how that
I never
works.
forget. I don't know if I said it on here before. Like I said, the hit that was heard around the world.
You did tell me about that. Your double.
Yeah, I made the kid walk off, cry.
I would never want to make a kid
No
cry.
one was gonna think I was gonna do anything. I was always the kid that's because you know what it is. I got hit in the neck a couple years ago, like in 2010, and I was scarred. That was it. I actually had like a good like spring training. Like I was hitting pretty good. And then first one of the at bats, I get up first pitch, dinger right to the fit. Oh, I was scarred. It hurt. I was 10 years old. Thing hurt. I had a big they gotta stop that. But I had a huge bruise right here. I remember I could feel it, and I felt bad. He felt really bad. He hit me. The kid. I'm not gonna say his name. But I had the David Wrights thing where you know, and I
Changes
was a
you a
little
little
kid.
bit.
I was what?
Changed you a little bit.
Yeah, I was a little kid. What do you want me to do? Like, I mean, it happens. But that moment though, so like I said, they brought in the outfield. They didn't think I was gonna do anything. I was like, all right, you want to screw it. I was like, all right, you ready? And then bang, right. I didn't even know I hit it. Everything was kind of happening all in fast motion. So
They brought in the outfield
I never said, yeah,
in Little League.
yeah.
Did the team do that on their own, or did the coach say bring it in?
It was probably the coaches because, like I said, they didn't know I was gonna
Oh,
do anything. So
oh, dude, forget that.
I had to hit.
That's disrespectful to a kid.
So they, so there you
That's some
go.
unwritten rules, man. They never should have done that. They brought out the Godzilla inside Brandon. They never should have done that.
That's right. So no,
I know.
that's I don't
I'll
know.
never forget you and me talking about Godzilla when we played together.
We should see that.
Yeah, why not, man?
I'm down for that. But that should have been a nickname. I don't know how I didn't incorporate that as a kid.
Godzilla, dude.
For baseball. But
Brandzilla.
right. But I guess it is. You never know what a kid's gonna do in little league baseball. But that's one of my favorite moments. I'm never gonna forget that for the rest of my life.
Yeah. I did not have too many good hits. I was not a good hitter at all. I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Oh, dude, I was like Hank Greenberg." No, I sucked. I was really good at drawing walks
Yeah.
and getting hit by pitches. I think I set the record for hit by pitches in Planet Youth Baseball League. I cannot comprehend somebody getting hit more than I did. I'd get hit once every 2 games.
I remember one time you got hit right in the chest.
That sucked. That hurt.
I saw that. It hit your plate.
It hit the
Like
chest guard.
you
It
had you
cracked
had
the
a
chest
chest
guard.
guard. It just hit it. I was like,
Like it
shoot.
scratched the chest guard, the plastic.
I think Nick Cavallo was pitching. We might have went
No,
against
it
you.
was Robbie Pinto.
Oh yeah, he was.
Nick was on our team. I think we're teammates with Nick that year. So maybe that's why you thought it. But
Oof, he pitched hard.
sucked.
Oh, he was scary to go
That
against.
kid pitched hard.
Fun story. When we were playing football, in Bobcats in practice, I remember we were a small team. We didn't have a lot of kids, but like we would do the tackling drills, and so I would try to go in the back of people so they can go in front of me because I would try to calculate who I'm gonna go against. So and people look at me like, no, you get it right in front. So I'm like, all right, fine, all right, I got this. Like, see, like tackling drill. Rob tackled me like hard. I had like a big big. Damn, I almost did it again. I had the biggest bruise on my shoulder, like my arm, and like I remember they yelled at Rob. He was like, "What?" And I'm like, he was a hard hitter in football, and he was also like he brought. And when it came to baseball, he brought the heat. He was a closer too. I remember.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I liked playing defense when I played Bobcats, man. I loved it. I loved it so
I was
much.
decent. I was a decent second baseman. I thought it was pretty good.
I'll never forget, man. We played a game called Golden Glove once. Did you ever play that in baseball? Where like the coaches would hit the ball to you until you dropped it, and like it was kind of like elimination. When you made an error, you were out. It was me and the coach's son were the last two, and I was playing second, and I was playing so well, and I only lost because it was getting too late. And like I made an error, but I recovered it, and it would have been an out. Because like we were having like a kid, we had like the fastest kid on the team, like mock being the runner
Right.
after a while to see like who would have thrown him out. And I would have thrown him out. It was a really fast kid from our fantasy football league, one of the quads, and I would have thrown him out, gunned him out, fastest kid in the league. And they said like, yeah, it was a great play, but like it's still like we gotta leave. It's getting too dark. And I lost, and I was so mad. And I always told them like, why didn't you guys just have me play second base? Like, we don't have a good answer for you. I'm like, okay, I could tell.
I was a good second baseman. I was a good second
I
baseman.
was great. Like I picked it up really quickly. They would have me play second in practice sometimes. I'd be like, you guys should really just consider having me play second. I'm better than the kid you have here now.
Yeah,
Because I was tall.
Yeah.
I was tall, so if they had like a lefty, I'm like, go ahead, try to hit it over me.
Yeah,
At that age, when you're like 12 and you have a kid who's like almost 6 feet tall, I mean, what are you gonna do? I was like 5'8" when we were 12. So
I feel like it's a lot of it's all just like a confidence thing too. Like
yeah, I felt like freaking Robbie Cano when I played second base. I might have even hit better too, because like I said, I felt like Robbie Cano. That's probably who I modeled my game after Robbie Cano, Brandon. I don't know if you knew that.
everybody loved Robinson Cano. It's
At that age,
it's crazy how he ended up being a Met at the end of his career.
yeah. Then didn't he have a very short stint on the Padres after you?
It was the Braves.
The Braves. I thought he might have had a really like a 2-weeker with the Padres.
It was the Braves. But I know before we wrap up the show, I know there's a lot of things there's a couple things I do want to talk about. Number one, I guess the first thing I want to talk about, who are you most looking forward to in opening? Like, what are some like bold predictions you have
Soto
before opening day?
Oh,
Like just
before
like,
opening day?
like yeah, before, because opening day is around the corner, man. It's coming. What are some bold predictions that you have for across the MLB that you think is gonna shock the world?
First, little victory lap. Robinson Cano went from the Mets to the Padres to the Braves all in the 2022 season. Thank you, me. My biggest, boldest prediction, book it. March 21st. Oh, gosh, it's past midnight already. March 21st, 2024. Dennis is saying it before everybody else. The Detroit Tigers, you are the AL Central champions of 2024.
Okay.
I am rawr. I am ready. I got my Frosted Flakes and my Magnum PI
great.
on TV. I am ready. I'm all in on the Detroit Tigers, baby.
Okay.
All in on Michigan.
Okay.
That's my biggest take. And Corbin Burns, Cy Young Award winner. Not too much competition in the American League. Pablo Lopez, probably the only one that I could really see going after him. People are going to say, you're forgetting about all these guys. And you'd be right, audience. Somebody from the Mariners or something like that. But
yeah,
I think he's going to get a lot of wins and have a similar ERA to a lot of those cats. And I think he's going to get the Cy Young. That's my pick. I'm going AL, baby. all in on the AL.
I like it. I feel like the
That's
AL
pretty
Central is definitely it's not one of the best divisions in the league, so
no.
I feel like it's definitely up
God,
for
no.
grabs. So if the Tigers could take advantage of that, then hey, go for them. You know,
That's what I'm saying, man. Mark Canha, Kenta Maeda. Yeah, they lost Eduardo Rodriguez. Who cares? Tariq
Yeah,
Skubal
really
had a nice
fine.
little end to the season. And I like this Spencer Torkelson cat. He can hit it.
When you got Marcano, that's pretty good. I love
Yeah,
Mark.
I
Like I
mean, he's
said,
not
I know
bad.
I raved about him on here before, and I'll say it again. Marcano, he was a great teammate, great ball club guy. Not an everyday outfielder, not an everyday player, but he's a great player. So having him on the roster, it's definitely beneficial to anybody. I
Yeah,
never
like
always
he's
thought he was
consistent.
what?
He's consistent. He's not great. He's not trash. He's
Right.
just consistent.
I
You know
never
what you're
thought
getting.
I never thought of him as an everyday ball player.
Hmm. Okay, you watched him more than I did, so I'll take your word for it. He had
Yeah.
spurts
So
though. He had weeks where he would go all for you.
no, he was great. I'm not denying that. I'm just I don't think he was like in my opinion. I don't think he was fit for like the way the Mets lineup is constructed now. Like I'm sure he would have flourished. He would have been fine. They have Nimmo, they have Marte, they
Love
have
Nemo.
Hader. So like I mean, say one of them needs a break or something, or maybe Canna could have been the DH. You could at least put him in the outfield if they wanted to. Like say Hader needed an off day. No, Harrison Bader, not Josh Hader, Harrison Bader. I want to reiterate on that. Say one of them needed a break. Say Marte, because who knows how healthy. That's could be another bold prediction. Could Marte stay healthy? That's more of a question. But like, could he play almost every game? At his age, probably not. So like I said, Marcano would have been great if like for that type of role. But like I said, he's in Detroit, so let's see how that goes. So like I said, the Detroit Tigers they have an opportunity to take the AL Central, and we'll see how that goes. Um, it's gonna be interesting to see how the Mets go forward. I think a bold prediction I'm gonna say is the Mets they're gonna make the playoffs.
Whoa, that
But
is
they're gonna make the
bold.
wild
That is
card.
bold. Yeah. If you said, if you turned around to me and said, not only are they going to make the playoffs, they're going to win the NL East. That's a Brandon.
That's a very bold prediction.
I was going to very bold. That's so
Very
bold.
bold.
Not only are you highlighting it, you're going through the paper. You're going through the paper bold.
All right, you know what? You want to have another bold prediction?
Sure, why not?
The Phillies. You are NL East. You are 2024 NL East champions.
I agree.
All right, so that's not too bold, but
I think it is because people are like, well, the Braves lineup, and they got Chris Sale. But like, full year of Bryce Harper, and I don't think Trey Turner is going to be the worst player in the league for 3 months again. Going out on a limb on that one.
yeah.
Whit Merrifield, I like that pickup for them, man. Good depth.
Yeah, it's
Good pick.
the NL East became a very tough division.
Dude, the Eastern. Could you imagine making an all-star team with the regions? How much better the East would be than the other two? I know people are going to say, well, what about the West? It's like, okay, your team would be like the Rangers, the Astros, the Mariners, the Dodgers. That's it. Logan Webb. So, or Blake Snell too.
Yeah.
But like like, oh, could you imagine Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and Matt Olson on the same lineup with Lindor at short, Acuna in center?
Wait, this is for the
Randy Arozarena in left. This would be loaded.
yeah.
Alonso as your DH.
Wait, you're talking about these players add on to the Mets?
No, I'm saying if you took all the like the regions,
Oh, right.
like the East, the AL and NL East, like made all-star
Oh,
teams
All
just for the
Stars. Yeah,
region.
yeah.
How loaded the East would be. Oh my God. Maybe not even Lindor. Maybe Bichette. Who's better? You could argue it. 30-30 Lindor was last year. People forget. He's good, man. He's
Yeah,
not a
no, it's
can.
true. No, Lindor definitely kind of rejuvenated himself. I remember when he first
Mm,
came to New York, it was not easy. It's not easy. I feel like it's one of the things, and when you come to play in New York, it's not you're not going to succeed right away. It's not going to be. It's not. I mean, some hey they get lucky, but I mean, from what I've seen from a Met fan, seeing Mets players come over to the Mets, they don't have it easy right away. Lindor, people wanted him booted right away. People like, oh, we gave this guy 10 years and all that.
it's
People
crazy.
kind of writing him off. Edwin Diaz, people were ready to like burn him by the stake, and look what happened in 22. He had one of the best seasons ever as a closer, and then it's unfortunate what happened in the baseball classic. But he's ready to go. It's exciting. So I would love to get a Diaz jersey in, but I don't. I did talk my stuff back in the day. I don't know if I could. I know you're giving me that look right now.
Yeah, you know what it is I'll never forget having more faith in Edwin Diaz than Mets fans did.
Well, we didn't
It's
know,
the
and
game.
I
They
I'd
can't.
like to I'd like to apologize because I was not familiar in the words of that Shaq meme. That I'm just gonna like I said, I'm getting that from that Shaq meme. I was not familiar with his game. You know,
Shaq. What a guy.
so yeah, I'm saying the Shaq quote right now. Like I said, I'm sorry, Edwin Diaz. I was not familiar with your game, and that's that. Um, but I want a Koda Senga jersey. I don't know when the city style jerseys are gonna come out, but I definitely want to cop one of those.
I don't know how I feel about the City Connect jerseys yet. I have to be honest with you. Most of them really suck. Come on. Come on.
Okay.
What am I doing? I like the Dodger hat though. The blue with the black. That's the Dodger hat I have. You've seen it.
Hmm.
The blue with the black. I like that. That looks sharp.
One thing
And
quick.
I loved the White Sox ones. The South
Mm,
Side.
South
I
Side.
consider buying a Tim Anderson version
Wait,
of
no,
that.
that's South Side. Wait, are they South Side? They're South Side, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it says on their jersey.
Okay. Yeah.
I just assume.
One thing, Stanton today, he had 3 home runs.
3 home runs, 8 RBIs, over 1,200 feet worth of bombs,
Has he
bro.
found the fountain of youth?
I don't know. Hey, oh, what was the guy named Ponce de Leon? Thought it was in Florida. That's where the Yankees' spring training facility is. Maybe.
I love Stan. Like, I mean, like I said, as a Met fan, like I love Stan because it's just the history I have with him, and like seeing him win the Derby and him and the Marlins and that ball. So no, I just So I guess another bold prediction: he hits close to 40 home runs.
Dude, he's getting close. He's knocking on the door. 500.
Is he really? That's insane.
Yeah, dude, he's got over 400. He averages 42 home runs per 162 games played.
He's gonna break it.
Not this
Uh,
year, certainly. You'll need 100. If he gets 100 in one season, geez. Now that would be a heck of a season, don't you think? And people would still say, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. That's my newest take that I'm trying to crusade against. If Giancarlo Stanton gets 500 home runs, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. And I don't think you know ball.
he's he's projected to have 26 home runs
What?
and only have a batting average of 224. That's
He played
insane.
101 games last year and he had 27.
They only think Baseball Reference thinks he's only going to have 401 at bats.
How many games?
It doesn't tell the games. It's only telling me it's not
I'm
telling
not
me the
doing
games.
math. I'm not doing math. I'm too old for that.
Let's see. He doesn't have a lot of hits. I'm pretty shocked at that. I would have thought he had more
I'm
hits.
definitely not shocked at that.
Yeah, no, I'm not. But
Power
I
hitters
just
typically don't.
that's not a lot in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like I would have thought he would have had more at least.
What are you gonna do?
What you gonna do? But I mean, he's 21 and 22. He had great. I mean, he had 35, 31 home run seasons. That's pretty good. His
Yeah, I
average was
think
a little better. He had 273. That's not bad for that year. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think 26 home runs for somebody who prioritized for the entire offseason of just making it a goal to stay on the field. I think that's too little. Now they're the stat nerds. They know more than I do. But I like Stanton, man. I want to see some Stantonian slams this year, bro.
Okay, we'll see, But be one thing before we go. So tomorrow's our fantasy baseball has been starting, and tomorrow's our league. Who would you think would go number one?
1-1.
Yes, number one overall.
Reigning National League most valuable player, Ronald Acuna Jr.
Okay.
You're fourth, man. You got a nice pick.
Yeah, you know what? Let me see if I could bring up the
The
order.
draft order.
Yeah, ESPN. What did I say?
Uh,
Baseball rankings. Okay.
oh, you're talking about that list. Let's put them pull up our freaking draft order as if the people listening or watching care.
So okay, let me share it quick.
Hold on, it's got to readjust my seat.
So I'm projected to get Corbin Carroll
That's insane.
in a good way.
Corbin Carroll at 4. Brandon, go ahead, take him. Take him. Be my guest.
All right, whatever you say.
That's bonkers. Trey Turner at 9. He's
Juan Soto.
crazy.
Why Shohei? Why Shohei so? Is it because he's not pitching this app that
Yeah.
much? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Makes sense.
You're 4.
Judge.
I'm 8. Ugh. I get
I
the
feel
Yogi
like
Berra pick.
Soto. I feel like it's definitely going to rack it up this year.
Oh, I think
He's
you're
going to
right.
rake it up. So I wouldn't mind if I took him. Maybe I don't know. No, I mean take the best player available. Screw it. Why not? And then I like what Tyler did. I really shouldn't be giving up my strategies, but like I like how he has Pete Alonso and he has Alvarez. Look for Alvarez. I know Alvarez has been gunning down um runners on base, so he's been getting them out. Like he's
That's good.
been tagging them out at catcher. I know defense doesn't have much of an impact, but I mean he's
0 impact in our league.
no, but I mean it looks I just feel like just you look at him defensively, hopefully he picks it up offensively too. Like he breaks out. And he's, it's going to be a full year because last year was the first year he got called up. He was nerves and jitters. I mean, he still got going, but either way, I expect big things for Alvarez. Defensively, he's been showing out. So now if he can put it together offensively, forget about it. Forget about it. Corbin Burns. That's going to be interesting. I know you're talking about him potentially being the Cy Young. We'll see. And who can forget Aaron Judge?
Oh,
Yeah, count on Aaron Judge.
I read Marcus Semien as Marcus Stroman. I was like, ahead of Zach Gallen? What are these people thinking?
Why is Altuve so low?
Yeah. Hasn't really been talked about a lot, but like the last couple of seasons, games played.
I wouldn't mind if
someone get
yeah. I wouldn't mind if I
more.
took L.A. De La Cruz. Like that's a good player. Like you know what I mean. Like a player that was a player on the rise. And
I would have advised against it, and that's not just because we're going against each other. He's very overrated.
You think so?
Oh yeah, he's not even the best player on his own team, bro. What's that? Matt McClain, the kid's name is. I get him and Spencer Steer confused for some reason, but one of those two was like a beast last year and got completely overshadowed.
It's definitely going to be interesting. I'm excited for the draft tomorrow.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto going out of the first round. Oh, do you want to hear my other league? My team, my roster?
Yeah, good.
All right. I know fantasy sports, people always say, I care about my team, not your team. But who cares? We're just hanging out, right? Our fans are very faithful to the fantasy sports. I'm losing right now, 10-1. Rats. Will Smith is my catcher. Let's hope nobody makes G.I. Jane jokes. Ha 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 ha. Reese Hoskins of Milwaukee is my first baseman. Luis Arias of the Miami Marlins is my second baseman. Not listed as a DH. Weird. Jose Ramirez. I finally have J-Ram back. Third base. Also eligible for DH. Vaughn Grissom of Boston is my shortstop. Randy Rosarena. I finally got my boy in the outfield. Jung Ho Lee of San Francisco in the outfield, the rookie. Mark Canna. I took your guy as my outfielder. Bryce Harper, my DH. Anthony Volpe is my utility. And I decided for my bench, I'm going to be proactive. Like Hayden Panettiere in the commercials from years ago. JD Martinez. I don't care he's unsigned. That guy, he's got upside. Craig Biggio is also on my bench. And TJ Friedel is on my IR. And that's why Mark Canna is on my team. Pitching, I decided to kind of lean into pitching. Zach Gallen, Zach Eflin, Camilo Duvall, Sonny Gray, Bailey Ober, Peter Fairbanks, Aaron Savali, Yusei Kikuchi, who had a terrific season last year, Braxton Garrett, and Devin Williams. I know people are going to say, Denny, what are you doing? Devin Williams is injured for a few months. That's why I take him now. Stash him on the IR. I almost did it with Max Scherzer until somebody beat me to the punch. Would have done the same thing with Verlander. Would have done the same thing with Kershaw. I always take one injured player, and then you get to take someone right after the draft. Yeah, I got it all figured out. I haven't won a fantasy baseball league in a while, so I got to get back on track. Got to get back to my winning ways. This is my New York Yankees 1998 season. After they got eliminated in 97.
Yeah.
I'm ready to out for blood.
Okay, all right, we'll see. It's definitely going to be a fun draft. I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
But all right, anything else before I wrap up?
No, I might be eating gelato tomorrow.
That sounds dope.
I haven't had gelato in a long time because I was ill-stricken.
Right.
I'm feeling better the last couple of weeks. I'm feeling great.
Okay, that's good. Keep it on. Yes.
So I might grab. Let me go back to my evil ways for one night.
Okay.
Try these black devil magics.
Hey, yo.
Advantage. Try to use voodoo to get an advantage in the draft. My gelato. Mint chocolate gelato? Ooh, baby. That's a lenti. I don't know how they do it. There's tons of guns, man. Don't know how this.
Got you. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
You born ready. So thank you again, guys. We thank you for joining us on another edition of Battin and Chattin for my co-host, Denis Tuohy, and the entire Blackjack Group media team. I'm Brandon Natale saying so long, and we'll see you next time.